But a lot of the comments already are on Steve Clarke and his future Scotland manager and where this leaves him, I guess. Should we maybe start on him? Let me throw a few of these comments at you. John Paul says, Senegal winning, bye-bye Clarke. He also says, Clarke played to beat Haiti and lose 1-0 to the other two and sneak through. It's embarrassing tactics. Andrew says, to think Clarke has got a 4-year contract when my beloved Scots are struggling to pay the bills is appalling. Control Uplift says, save the pods for the Euros because it's on repeat with Clarke. I thought trying the same thing over and over was madness. And this one, Andrew says, Keith has gained legendary status as the man who trolled Clarke, but he follows up with saying there cannot be a grimmer moment in Scottish football history. And just finally, Bare Necessity says, so much for having learned lessons.
That's the
was I naive? Aye, sorry, I was just going to say, was I naive, guys, for coming into this thinking we would have learned lessons, thinking that this would be different?
No, I don't think you were naive, because that's what we were
told.
That's what we were promised. After the last year, we thought after Euro 2024, it couldn't get any worse, not couldn't get any lower than that in terms of the performances in those 3 games. And as you say, the message since then has been, no, we will be better. We will be better next time. And as Jacko says, it just hasn't really happened. And look, Steve Clarke will rightly get a lot of the blame and a lot of the flack. But this is a collective thing. Steve Clarke, the players, staff, everybody ultimately has failed at this World Cup because the singular goal, singular aim in this tournament was to get into the knockout phase and make history. And look, there's an argument to say we did have a really tough group, and I know that's not what people want to hear, but we did with Brazil and Morocco in it. However, other countries with similarly tough groups.
Every other group's got 2 pretty big hitters in it.
Aye.
So, it's
right,
two pretty big hitters and then two struggles.
Other countries
and we're one of the struggles.
Other countries have found a way. Other countries have found a way to score goals and get points on the board, and we've not been able to do it. And it is so disappointing because I think me and Jacko spoke about it last night. You think of how positive we felt after the warm-up games, Curacao and then especially Bolivia in New Jersey. So positive, that performance, Scott McTominay strutting his stuff, controlling the game. Andy Robertson, Ryan Christie down the left, flying, the 2 strikers, defence looking solid. Well, I know Bolivia are no great shakes, but you came out of that game in New Jersey thinking, right, we're ready for this World Cup. It is going to be different because we're playing with a bit more verve, a bit more style, a bit more attacking, a bit more attacking intent. But yet again, for whatever reason, whether it's nerves, whether it's instructions for the manager, whether it's the game plan, the players just haven't done it. And I say players, there's probably only a few with pass marks. Lewis Ferguson being one of them, head and shoulders, our best player.
I agree with that.
Who's really enhanced his reputation even further. But I think you could probably pick on one hand the others that have kind of done themselves justice in America, and that's that'll be hugely disappointing for a lot of these players because they talked a good game before in the build up to it, and it just hasn't happened for them.
Well, look, the comments that are coming in are on Clarke. I think I'll go through a couple more in a wee moment, but I think we've got a clip of Clarke from the press conference the other day. I think he's addressing you, Keith. I've not actually seen the clip, but let's have a watch.
He's been doing it all the way through the tournament.
Steve, it's not often you seem frustrated or even angry with your players. It feels like that tonight.
I'm definitely not angry, and I'm not prickly. I think that's one of the words you like as well. I'm definitely not that either. Yeah. You can finish if you want. You finish your question.
No, I was going to ask you. Are you angry? I'm
disappointed for them. I'm disappointed for them because they didn't reach the levels that they can reach. I think we all know that. Anybody that's watched this team over the last few years knows that we didn't reach the levels that we can reach. Poor result. You give a team like Brazil the chances that we give them the game, you expect to get punished, and that's what happened. Chances at the moment, I think we're probably going home.
Ross in the comments says, don't know what you guys
Didn't
think.
sound
Steve
very
Clarke is-
prickly there, did he?
Aye, I was going to say he's trying really hard
Not
not
the
to sound
slightest
prickly.
bit prickly.
Aye, I know.
I'm not angry and
Ross-
I'm not prickly, said the most prickly man in Florida.
Ross writes in saying, I don't know what you guys think, but Steve Clarke's been nothing but shambolic. Walking away from the media when asking questions is embarrassing in my eyes. Sack him now, he's a failure. Control Alt Lift says he should be sacked for walking out in interviews, never mind the performances. David Gray says the Tartan Army have been almost bankrupted themselves, but Clarke doesn't want to answer questions. Pathetic. What have you guys made then? You guys are the ones that deal with them first hand. That was obviously you asking him questions.
I'm disappointed with him.
Go on.
I'm really disappointed with him. The way that he's conducted himself off the pitch and the way that he's put his team together on the pitch. I'm just really disappointed in him. I'd hope for better. I think that his general conduct, his snappiness with the media it's kind of unbecoming. It tells me, actually, it makes me wonder if this is all just too big, it's too much, and he's struggling mentally to cope with the whole thing. And I think he's made some very bizarre decisions, whether it's in how to deal with questions from the media or whether it's team selection, strategies. And it's all combined to be a bit of a mess, hasn't it? Look, I don't think too much blame could be apportioned to the manager for game number one, other than what sort of mental kind of state were the players going into that? Because Steve Clarke came out after it and said, well, you know, people have been saying for months that this was a must-win game, as if the people that said that were wrong. Of course it was a must-win game. It was absolutely the definition of a must-win game, because you're the guys that are coming out and saying, we're going to make history here. That's the target. That's the aim, that we want to be the first side to get through out the groups. So if that's your serious aim, then you can just take it as read that you need to win the first game.
Unfortunately, it was a must-win game by 2 or 3 goals.
Exactly, Scott.
But this is where I'm wondering about the mentality and what's coming from the manager. Because see, at 1-0, the longer that game went on, I was watching our players become terrified. They looked scared of their own shadows. They couldn't keep the ball. They couldn't do the basics. It became an absolute grind. Now, see all the other small nations that have made it to this World Cup. They're out there having the time of their lives. The pressure, the strain, all the negative stuff, that was in qualifying, getting to the thing. And now they're here, the shackles are off. It's just go and play and enjoy it and express yourself and play with freedom and have some fun. Our guys look terrified. Now, why is that? Because we're talking about very senior players that have played at an extremely high level